Ghent against Eintracht Frankfurt, winning away from home by 1-0, and their reward would be, of course, a game against Lazio. So we'll see what becomes of that competition. Bodo Glimt, I beg your pardon, they are the ones that are at you see their stadium. They played against Lazio yesterday. I've seen people complain a lot about why a semi-final of the Champions League taking place in the Bodo Glimt Stadium. It looks like the Takwa Stadium, basically, really small. And there's Conference League as well. Conference League will also happen. Chelsea lost at home yesterday, unbelievably, to Legia Warsaw by 2-1, but they will, of course, progress to the semi-final, or have progressed to the semi-finals because of the 3-0 result from the first leg. So Chelsea go through incredibly there in that particular game as well, 4-2 on aggregate. They will play against Djurgården in the semi-finals of the Conference League. Real Betis are also up against Fiorentina in the other semi-final. So we'll look at all of that action. We'll also be joined on the show today by the great Asamoah Gyan, who is an ambassador for the CAF Schools competition that's happening here in Accra from the 21st of April to the 26th of April. And then Sarah Mukuna, also of CAF, they'll be joining us a little later on the show to talk all about that competition and why it's very important for CAF to be organizing that competition. We'll also tell you which teams are involved, where it will be happening, what the kickoff times are, and what's happening alongside that competition here in Accra over those 5 days. That will all happen a little later on the show. Game plan is always brought to you by Betway as well as Petro. So Sichofe Philip Achrim is here with me on the show in studio. Happy Easter, my friend.
Happy Easter, Sue.
Achu Sawaklo is here too. Achu.
Hi, friends.
How you doing?
I'm great, yourself.
Happy Easter, my friend.
Thank you, and happy Easter to you.
Did you know that in Rome, today is not a holiday?
No, I did not.
You didn't? Do you know why? Because the Romans killed Jesus, so they are not celebrating at all. they're not celebrating. So that is why it's not a holiday in Rome. But Sicho knew that. Yeah. Sicho, there's nothing in the Bible he doesn't know.
Oh, no, they don't.
Have you read your Bible today? Amen.
There are things in the Bible I don't know how. The Bible is a difficult book to learn.
Yeah.
Like, that is why some of our pastors, thumbs up to them.
Yeah.
Because you finish one book, you go to the next one. There are things in the other
But
book.
I want to ask you that question.
Yeah.
You immediately knew the answer. For how long have you known that in Italy they don't celebrate Easter, because they killed the Romans? And I ask you why. You say, yeah, because they killed Jesus. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I think that. So I love history, and then there's the Bible as well.
Yes.
I can't remember that. I've learned it for, I think, forever.
Really?
Yeah, that. And in fact, Jesus Christ died through their hands, but at some point they shifted the blame game. That when Jesus Christ was dying, when Jesus Christ was about to die, the Israelites were under captivity by the Romans.
Uh-huh.
That is why you had the likes of Pilate, those names. All of these guys are Romans, right? Mm-hmm. And for them, they are we the Romans didn't even know why we should kill, your guy. You the Israelites, you the Jewish, you brought your guy to us that we should kill him because he's claiming to be a king. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that could get them to kill him was when he claims to be their king, right?
Okay.
But that was because Jesus Christ was saying that he was the only son of God, how it's right.
Yeah,
so the Romans are saying that truly we the Romans washed our hands off him and we gave him to even presented a prisoner for you to substitute him with.
Right.
He said, nah, give us the prisoner and kill the guy Jesus Christ, not Jesus Barabbas. So sometimes the blame game is also going on. But in the end, it was the Roman soldiers who had to whip him, guide him to carry his cross, who pierced this, his rib. But all of that was prophecy. Yeah. So if you know the Bible, you know that had to happen for us. And
it's interesting because the Italians or the Romans, they probably are the biggest Christian nation in the world. Like very Catholic. very Catholic, and that's there's no surprise, of course, also that the head of Catholicism is
there.
It's there. Danny K is also here. He's joining us via Zoom instead. He seems to be celebrating the Easter more than the people who my friend, why have you decided to join the show from home? You are even sitting in your car. Where are you going?
What you should ask me, not where am I going? But I'm going to the mall. I'm going to Marina Mall at Junction Mall because today, Lexus.
Yes.
Happening from there.
Yes.
Press down chest service. I'm going to the Junction Mall. So meet me there. Then after the meeting, they will park their cars and go to Marina Mall, Junction Mall, the new one at Junction Mall, and they should meet me there.
In fact, Joy FM is doing a whole weekend broadcast there, the whole Easter. So starting today, we're broadcasting there every day. Okay, we're broadcasting from there every day starting today, 3 p.m. Lexis and his team will start there. Tomorrow we are there. Sunday we are there. Monday we are there. So it's the Easter Sales Bazaar at the Marina Mall, like Rantin said, the Spintex one, the new one over there, you know. So you come there, your favorite shopping destination is now closer to you, of course. So they have the Marina supermarket will be there. There'll be top brands all representing PMMC, Istanbul Harim, Exotica Salon, Glee Hit Dental Clinic, Celebrity Style Fashion, April 18 to 21. All the exciting things are happening there in that Easter Sales Bazaar. Easter Sales Bazaar is there. There will be amazing discounts. This is why you have to be there. Crancy is there. I'll be there. Sijo is going there. 50% off on selected items in all your favorite shops. 50% off. Okay, 50% off.
Massive discounts.
Yeah, very massive one. Then there will be fun for the whole family, including face painting activities, treasure hunt, musical chairs, and the chance for kids to meet and take photos with their favorite Disney characters. Okay, so make it a memorable family shopping and fun experience this festive season at the Marina Mall, Spintex, and that's where we are all going to be right after this. Anita was saying what? Anita, you say what? Spintex. That's what I said. Marina Mall, Spintex. Yes, that's what I said. She's not listening. She said drive is happening there. Crancy, like she didn't hear what I said. You see Anita's problem.
Yeah, it's like she didn't hear you. But it's the Spintex one, no? The new
That is what I said.
That
is what I said.
Yes. The whole Marina Mall, they looked around the whole Ghana and they said no. There's only one store that can open their new shopping mall.
That's right.
And they told drive time. So we are going there.
Yes. With Lexis Bill. The show that you have a segment at 4 p.m. where you go and fool. No?
Hurry up and let's enter the team.
Granted, listen to this.
Martinelli's making a storming run. Fran Garcia can't catch him. Martinelli! They deserve it. Gabriel Martinelli ensures that Arsenal will win not only the first leg of the quarter-final, but the second leg too.
That's my favorite part. The color commentator, the teacher, he said,
It feels fast.
Oh my God.
One of those.
Martinelli's making a storming run. Fran Garcia can't catch him. Martinelli! They deserve it. Gabriel Martinelli ensures that Arsenal will win not only the first leg of the quarter-final, but the second leg too. Martinelli's making a storming run. Fran Garcia can't catch him. Martinelli!
That was Andy Townsend. Yes.
Yeah.
Andy was on Color Coms. For the global feed. If that was a global feed, then Andy was on.
Listen, guys. Let's get right down to it then. We'll go through quite a lot. There's been plenty of very dramatic games. Cranton, I don't trust his network, so I'll go and start there before he starts messing up. If somebody calls him one, or he can go up and freeze on the screen.
It's pretty simple. We'll be fine.
Listening to that, listen, I have to give you your flowers. For 2 weeks in a row, This guy was spot on. When we laughed at him, he still persevered and believed. Okay, so collect your stone, collect your flowers. You said ahead of the first leg that Arsenal would undo Real Madrid from set pieces because of two things. Arsenal are good at set pieces and Real Madrid suck at defending them. This is what you said. The second leg, you said, oh, the talk of remontada, Ngosiaga. It will not happen. And you said specifically that Martinelli, will deliver something special. True to your words, prophet. True to your words. The oracle. You looked into the arrow glass and you saw what we could not see. So collect your glass. Thank you. collect your arrow glass back. Take your stone. Take your flowers. Take your everything. But listen, Arteta has done it. This season, there have been moments of uncertainty involving Arsenal, whether it's the FA Cup result, the League Cup, even the league itself. There's been so many moments of uncertainty around Arsenal. In the Champions League, though, this hurdle that they surmounted, it has to give you massive, massive respect for Mikel Arteta. How did he do it?
For Arsenal, this is a big deal. It's such a big deal because this is only the second season Arsenal are in about 8 seasons they are returning to the Champions League. In fact, last season was their first time in 8 years, and this is the second time. So they've gone through a very long spell where they have not played in Europe's elite competition. Last season they were beaten by Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals, and this time around they are in the semi-finals after beating Real Madrid in both legs. 5-1 on aggregate against Real Madrid is absolutely crazy, and for me, it just shows the maturity with which this Arteta team has garnered over the years. I was a bit skeptical because I knew from the tactical point of view that Arsenal would win it, but it was up to the mental side. And in fact, if you look at what Real Madrid were doing in the days leading to the second leg, it was just a mental battle they were doing. They themselves could clearly tell that it would be very difficult for them to beat Arsenal on a tactical level. So then they had to get into the heads of the Arsenal players, in the heads of Arteta, and try and cause a bit of trouble there. But it just didn't work. From the blast of the whistle, Arsenal were completely superior. And for me, it's just about the maturity. And it's not, you can't even pick one or two players. It's the entire team. Miles Lewis-Skelly looked like he's been playing football for like 20 years. He wasn't afraid to drive through the middle where there was Valverde, there was Tchouaméni, there was Bellingham. He was confident in his handling of the ball. Thomas Partey was brilliant. Look, how can you get 100% passing accuracy playing at the Bernabeu, playing when anytime Arsenal touched the ball, Real Madrid were giving them incessant pressure. And as the holding midfielder, you finish the game with
recording in progress.
A passing record. It's absolutely insane what Partey did. And for Rice was Rice as usual. Look, I don't think he's had a poor game. He's one of the most consistent players in Europe. He drops at least a 7/10 in every game that he plays. And for me, it's just credit to Arsenal. Through and through, credit to Arsenal. Real Madrid have their faults. They have their weaknesses in there. But it's one thing to be able to identify them. And it's one thing to be able to form a game plan and for it to work in 2 legs where you completely dominate both. So for me, it's total credit to Arteta, total credit to the playing body. Look, the work Saliba and Kibio over the 2 legs, especially at the Bernabeu. Look, it's one thing, as I said, it's one thing forming a game plan. But when you look at even how the Madrid fans receive the team bus, Arsenal will clearly have seen those
said the skirmishes before the game, it was scary, my brother. That is why I have a lot to tell Real Madrid fans.
No, I don't play football. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I was afraid. Like, Real Madrid created the environment for Arsenal to come and to be shaken. But it just didn't happen. And that is credit to them. Look, this is a team that we have gone on and on and on and on about their mental... yes, the fault when it comes to their mentality. But somewhere, somehow, they go to the Bernabeu and prove that they are no pushovers. They completely dominated the game like 2 legs. outplayed Real Madrid and ended up winning the game. And for Madrid, look, Madrid needs some serious signings in the window to offset this balance issue that they have. Because if it's like anytime they come up against one of the big teams, they are found wanting. And that cannot continuously be the case. Arsenal has shown a certain level of consistency through this Champions League. But again, it's like they have this tag on them that they are just underperformers. So nobody really wants to look at what is actually happening. Everybody is looking at what should happen because it's Arsenal. But if you are looking at what is actually happening, this is the team that came into the Champions League this season. They've lost one game, a game where I thought they shouldn't even have lost, in the game against Inter. They finished in the top 8. They've gone through the knockout rounds, have not lost a game, have won 2 legs against Real Madrid, and are going into a semi-final of the Champions League. It's such a big deal for a team that constantly have received critical in terms of their mental strength. Yeah. So this is clear progress. This is clear progress from Arteta. And again, you see, when you are playing a league season, you need certain elements to be in place for a consistent period of time for you to be able to produce consistent results. Because the league is played every week. So if you have one major injury, if you have something that goes wrong, it will easily affect you. And that's what we've seen happen to Arsenal this season. Their top 3 best players, in fact, from last season, have all gotten significant injuries. Saka had an injury for about 3 months. Odegaard missed about 2 months with an ankle injury. Gabriel is out for the rest of the season. Havertz, who is their first choice number 9, is out for the rest of the season. His deputy, Gabriel Jesus, is also out for the rest of the season. Like, you can't have these sort of injuries and have it not affect your title chances. We all talk about, yes, they should have got a striker at the start of the season. But to be frank, a striker at the start of the season wouldn't even guarantee that Arsenal will be able to give consistently good results in the league when you look at all these other injury issues that they've had. So it is complete credit to Arteta. He's done this without Gabriel. He's done this without Havertz, his starting number 9. He's done this without Gabriel Jesus. He's done this without even a backup in Jorginho. Is in, like, they have so many injuries. He's done this without Calafiori, and they are in the semi-final of the Champions League. So
that's unbelievable.
Complete credit to Arsenal and Arteta, and it just shows how good Arteta is when it comes to these one-off games, when it comes to
knockout football
tactical plans, exactly, to be able to offset an opposition when it comes to one-off. So hats off to them, and I'm absolutely delighted that
you are buzzing. I can see that.
Yeah, fantastic.
You are buzzing. Listen, incredible feat for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, especially listening to Daniel enumerate the kind of injuries that they've had, the kind of season they've had. I mean, this is unbelievable. I was shocked to find out that this was only the 3rd time in the history of Arsenal Football Club that they are in the Champions League semi-finals. It's like all those years, what have you been? All those great teams they've built. Like what you can't be in the top 4. I don't understand that.
Why do you think
only
people
the
were
4th
worried?
time ever? Third time ever. I beg your pardon. Yeah. 3 times in the whole history of Arsenal.
Why do you think people were worried about their temperaments? No,
honestly, we all know they've not won the Champions League. Yeah. I genuinely didn't think that for the semi-finals, they hadn't been there more than twice before in the past. It's like, anyway, we'll get to that. A team that certainly knows how to win is Real Madrid. Unfortunately, in these 2 games against Arsenal, they were far from anything recognizable when it comes to Real Madrid. They were below par. Even in the return leg, they spent the whole day putting fear in all of us. Even those of us who were not Arsenal fans, were afraid for Arsenal. On social media, on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. Translating 90 minutes at the Bernabeu is a long time. They said ChatGPT should translate it into as many languages as possible. I didn't see the true version, but I can imagine it would also have been scary. You understand? Before they emerged from the touchline, Jude Bellingham, player attacking, he's attacking, then he tied the shots, then he jumped. The jump, if you see the jump, Kranti, you don't see the jump. Why he jumped? The left small, he touched the moon.
I was running comms with Daniel on the day.
Real Madrid.
I was running comms with Daniel on the day. The moment I saw that, I told Daniel that, look, these guys are nervous.
The way he was jumping.
Yes, not just himself, and then Mbappe.
What did Mbappe do? I didn't see his own.
Oh, some skirmishes and antics that. It's like they needed to show everyone that they were pumped for it.
Zicho. Bellingham, he left the kid. He's holding the kid's hand. Oh. He left the kid's hand and he jumped. Then he came back and held the hand and said, Charlie, player. But brother, 55 minutes was how long it took Real Madrid to get one shot on target. In a game they needed to win and spark a comeback. It took them 55 minutes to even get the first shot on target. What happened? Now in Spain, everyone is calling for Ancelotti's head. The reports are that he will leave after the Copa del Rey final. But was it really a case of Ancelotti being outcoached? Because in terms of individual quality, we know who had the better players. So what happened?
Well, first of all, yeah, Carlo can take part of the blame, but lots of the blame has got to do with how Madrid have built this team and relied on super talents. I mean, they've got super talented players, and I've relied on super talented players. Look, even if you go into last season, when Real Madrid won the Champions League, they won the Champions League with some elements of players who were not necessarily the key players, but they always brought something different to the mix. I think this Real Madrid, when you look at their bench, they don't have any other players coming into the game to change the dimension. You know, last season they would have a player like Joselu, a proper striker down the middle. So when Bellingham and Vinicius were not working at the top, you could introduce Joselu, and that could completely change the way the team attacks. This season, whoever Madrid call upon from the bench, it doesn't necessarily change the way Madrid play. It's the same way they're going to play, but it's a fresher leg. So they don't have...
There's no different dynamic.
They don't have... The team is not dynamic enough, right? And seasons gone by, they've got that in them. They've got some dynamism in them. You can throw in a player and it brings in something else. And we all know the problem they've got at the back as well. I mean, Ferland Mendy is not my favorite left back, but when he plays a lot more solid defensively, going forward doesn't offer much. Carvajal is injured. We know how much it means to them, both in offense and in defense. Eder Militao would have been the first choice, but not to Rudiger. He's not been there the whole season. So Madrid can look at those things and think that this is not their strongest team. Ultimately, it is almost impossible to do the Champions League back-to-back. And this season again has told us, or previous seasons have always told us.
This team did 3 in a row, though.
No, not this team. The Ronaldo one.
Meant
the Ronaldo one. You need a player like Ronaldo to be able to.
Not the team.
Yeah, you need a player like Ronaldo. Like if you don't have Ronaldo, you can't do that thing. It's not that simple. Like to do it
You
three
have
times.
set the agenda for it.
To do it 3 times in a row with one player being the best player of the entire 3
only
seasons.
constant feature was Ronaldo. That's what you're saying.
Boga, he was the best player in those 3 seasons. If you don't have Ronaldo, forget it. No, so it is the Champions League is tough.
It is tough.
It really is tough. It doesn't matter how good a team. Look at the Inter Milan team that lost to Man City. They might never play as good as, even though they are playing well this season, it's not as good as that team, right? But they lost it. Now this team is like, it's like they are the final legs. If this team doesn't win it this year, this team doesn't win it this year.
They have to
you have to rebuild a team, come back and do it again. So the Champions League is tough, but it's a massive credit to Arsenal.
Okay.
Massive credit to Arsenal.
Okay.
You can't take anything away from them. For me, another team goes to the Bernabeu, and as poor as Real Madrid were, that team still would lose the game based on happenings in the game.
In the game, not
and I'll
before.
explain. No, yeah, in the game.
Okay.
Now, and then he spoke about the character of Arsenal. And we've seen several teams play against Real Madrid, and these teams crash or collapse because of moments in the game.
Yes.
The first thing is Arsenal lead by 3-0. They go to Real Madrid. They are not used to the stage, let's be fair. You just mentioned it's only the 3rd time in their history they've been there. It's the first time in the history of this group and this coach to be there. So when you talk about experience as a team, they lack it, right? But they go to the Bernabeu, and then guess what happens? They get the penalty, and their best attacking player completely fluffs it. Like it's not it's not like the keeper made a great save. He completely fluffs it. Now that penalty miss from Saka could have completely derailed the composure, the confidence of some teams if they didn't have the character. So once Saka missed that penalty, I was like, no, this is not good for Arsenal. But then look at how the Arsenal team responded. To be fair, after that penalty miss, it was almost as if they were like, okay, let's push it an extra, like let's go more aggressive. Let's win more tackles. Let's show them that we've missed the pen, but we'll do it again, right? And for Saka himself, after he missed the penalty, it was almost like nothing had happened. He still went on to play the same way he was playing. Okay, now these are moments in games that if you don't have a strong character, a strong mentality against a Real Madrid team, no matter how poor they are, in the conditions in which Arsenal played, you can start making mistakes. You can start fluffing your lines. You can start losing confidence, and that is where when Real Madrid smell it, they can pounce. So as soon as Saka missed the penalty, Real Madrid wanted to push with a bit more momentum and urgency. Then their call for the pen came. VAR did a brilliant job. I thought it was soft. Yes, Rice grabbed him, but he was intelligent enough to let him go in time. And that comes with a certain level of ability and experience and the reading of the game.
Awareness.
And if you watch Raul Asensio's foul on Mikel Merino, it's very similar, but he held him until the last point when Merino was going down. When Merino started his run, he was holding him. Had he left Merino, right, and then Merino went on to fall down, it's different. Yeah. But he held him until Merino.
The two incidents were similar.
They were similar, but the difference is Raul Asensio held him until Merino went down. Rice held Mbappe.
He let him go before
Mbappe tried to start running. So there's a difference, and the coaches the referees are reading all of those things. So that is crucial, right? So the moments in the game that could have dropped the confidence and the momentum of some teams, Arsenal's character came to the fore. They missed the penalty. They had a penalty against them, which was overturned.
Real even scored an offside goal at the beginning.
That alone. Come in, hey, killer.
Because it took less than 5 minutes.
Less than 5 minutes, they don't pay chest. Okay, offside, let's go. But throughout the time, Arsenal, and to be honest, Arsenal's game plan coming into the Bernabeu wasn't very. That's why I don't even want to talk about the taxes. Wasn't very different from the game plan at the Emirates. The difference is, of course, Madrid are at home. They will try and see a lot of the ball. But in terms of Arsenal's midfield positioning, in terms of the job Mikel Merino will drop in to do, in terms of the job Saka and Martinelli have to do when Merino drops in, it was very similar, if not the same. And the centre backs, the wide players had to do virtually the same jobs they did at the Emirates. The difference was that when Arsenal had to defend and properly defend in that circumstances,
they were so organized.
They were a cage, right? That had maxed out every threat that Real Madrid could pose to them. So for me, yeah, Madrid have not been good this season. We've all seen it. They've got history in the Champions League. We all know that. But Arsenal still needed to be that good. Yeah. Right? Arsenal still needed to be that good to be able to see off Real Madrid. And to go to the Bernabeu and play the way they played and go on and win like the way they won. Raya had a holiday on the day.
I said it took 55 minutes to get.
And all the shots they were playing our team were like, it's like Tariq learning how to play football. It's like our son Tariq learning how to play football.
Effort.
And passing the ball to Raya. That was what it was.
Even the goal that Real Madrid scored, it was an error.
An error from
Direct
Saliba.
Error. Yeah.
And after Saliba made that error, they were like, no, let's go. Because at 1-1, another team is going to panic.
Yes.
And let's in another one, 2-1. Maybe Madrid wouldn't score enough goals to eliminate Arsenal, but that could have been a test of that.
Because another one.
Yeah.
And suddenly
you are panicking. But again, even after that mistake, the Arsenal team was still strong. And for me, that is where I want to look at it from. The mentality, personality, character of Arsenal.
I think that's fair.
They are of age. We saw them against Bayern Munich last season. Look.
They were unlucky to lose that high.
But they didn't have the character.
Yeah, they didn't.
They played with some fear.
But they played
with some fear.
Yeah.
When Bayern were there for the taking, Arsenal were not pushing it. But this game, when Madrid were there for the taking, they took it.
Yeah.
Right? And look at the goal, the two goals, especially the first one. For me, the first one is the best. Is the best Arsenal. It's very close to.
It was a beautiful.
It's very close to the Merino goal, right?
Yeah.
But I love this one even more because they were playing through Arsenal. They were picking short passes. The run from Saka, the pass from Merino, and the finish in the end.
Intricate.
It was brilliant in the way they orchestrated it. Then the final goal as well. Merino drops it in, picks the ball, sees the run of Martinelli, the timing of the pass, the weight of it. Martinelli's angle of run and touches to finish the ball was brilliant. So credit to Arsenal, credit to Arteta. Real Madrid need some different players in the team, and I was surprised Ancelotti brought in Hendrick before Brahim Diaz. Not to say he was going to make significant changes, but you can't trust Hendrick to play wide.
Hendrick.
A striker.
Bobby.
Hendrick, he'll be FC 25 player or boss shots from anywhere they score. But this is Champions League proper. So that for me are the failings of Real Madrid. They didn't replace Joselu. They didn't replace, of course, Toni Kroos is replaceable, but they didn't need to bring in someone like that. It didn't happen. But ultimately, you know, it is a massive victory and result for Arsenal. Credit to them.
Wow, big credit to Arsenal. And listen, yesterday as well, there was a lot of drama that unfolded. Actually, last words on that Arsenal Real Madrid game. The credit goes to Arteta, according to Chicho and Cranton, both of them. Do you think there is more to highlight on the failings of Real Madrid, or it's more on the Arsenal being?
I think a bit of both, but it should not take any credit away from Arsenal.
Of course,
they have come of age, and it leaves me wondering whether or not, or what happens to Arteta at the end of this season, and what he does with the moments like this.
Yeah,
because managers, when we think of managers, they are not one purpose for all. There are great coaches who excel in knockout competitions. Then there are those who do very well in league formats. But so I was looking at Ancelotti's league record, for example, across a combined period of 10 years, and it was back to back. I think from 99 to 2001 for Juventus, and then he moved to AC Milan, worked there until 2009. A 10-year period, Ancelotti, working for two of the biggest clubs in Italy, had only 2 league titles to show.
wow.
But if you look at his Champions League record in that same period, he was the boss.
He was the boss.
He won more Champions League titles in that time up until Pep came.
True.
Right?
He was
No,
an individual
first up until
coach.
Mourinho.
Yeah.
Because Mourinho 2004 and 2010, and then Pep 2009, 2011. So while Ancelotti was very mediocre in league competition,
Because Inter was winning all the league titles.
Inter and
And
Juventus. But in the Champions League, he was beating everybody
He won
and winning the
2003, 2005.
2007.
2005, so he was in the final, right?
Yes.
Then he won 2007 as well.
Exactly. So he won 3 titles in that period. Then you have Alex Ferguson. And I'm using these two just to give people a sense of some of the fact that even for the greatest managers in the history of the sports, it happens to them.
Okay.
That Ferguson, unrivaled success in domestic competitions, but in the Champions League, he couldn't
in
always
26
hack
years,
it.
only 2 titles.
Yes. He couldn't always hack it. So there is that. So what happens to Arteta, or what he does with this, could define his career trajectory.
Okay.
Because, and I genuinely think that, look, when it comes to one-off games, his ability to make sense of the opponent's structure and the profile of players they have got and be able to produce solutions for every possible scenario, look, it's top-notch. That's why when you watch Arsenal in the big games, they don't look inferior. I think until they lost to Liverpool, they didn't even lose to Liverpool. They had this crazy run where for about 2 or 3 years, Arsenal had not lost to a top 6 team.
Yeah.
Those are knockouts competition.
That's how he considers them.
Yes, those are knockout competition metrics, because in the big games, he is able to fashion out a strategy for one-off games like that.
Like
say,
putting speakers and playing. You never walk.
No, that one he got. I think that was the game.
Then you go and
That one you collect for.
This one,
That's what I'm saying. Then you go.
this one I'm sure say you played the Madrid.
You play the Madrid anthem.
You close the training rooms.
Atetus.
You close the training rooms. Look, they played indoor, and then you play the Madrid
Anthem over
and
it.
then Charlie. So
But I think that, look, the only thing I'm going to add on the Arsenal bit is that the growth that Daniel and Sicho have spoken about, they are on a path of discovery. I think by the next 1 year, we will see the ceiling of this Arsenal team. Not just in terms of what they are able to do on the pitch, but the level of investments that the club is going to push into it. It will just give us a sense of the level of their ambition, because Arteta has said this is going to be the most significant transfer window in his time at Arsenal. So we'll see what happens to them. But for Real Madrid, they nearly denied us Easter. Look, the cross that Jesus Christ was going to die on, they nearly took it away. Did you know that they put in 43 crosses on the night?
Who were they crossing to?
Ask again. 43 crosses.
Is that why
At a
Courtois
point-
is very angry? You know?
Oh, he's and you know Courtois, he can't hide.
Courtois
Courtois has
says
no
that maybe
filters.
it's time to play as a team, because we were crossing the ball and we didn't have people to handle the crosses.
yeah,
And for me, that is where Ancelotti is solely responsible for this. We all know who Perez is. So for Perez, I'm not going to blame him for the squad that he left Ancelotti with. But you are Carlo Ancelotti, right?
Right.
You are the biggest manager in the game. He has enough credit in the bank to tell the world that the squad I have is dysfunctional. And so it has to be a mitigating factor in every analysis. That give it time, I'll be able to do it. Or at a point when he realized it was not going to work, Ancelotti should have told the world that, you know what, whatever we get out of this season should be a bonus because we are not ready yet to compete on those levels.
They won the Champions League last season.
I get you.
What has happened to the squad? Is
So
it the
what
inclusion
has
of
happened-
Mbappe that has made it dysfunctional?
What has happened to the squad is that
But they've included a world-class player.
They
And
have.
they are worse off. Why?
they have. So, for example, I was looking at Mbappe's numbers from that match. Mbappe ran about 6.4. He covered about 6.4 kilometers.
Yes.
The least Arsenal player in that game. No, I think, was it Mikel Merino? By halftime, he had clocked 8.2 kilometers.
And the whole game, Mbappe covered 6.4.
Yes, Merino's numbers from the halftime alone. So that just gives you a sense of the disparity between the work ethic. And here's the thing. It wasn't just a case of two isolated players. Those numbers reflect the two teams. In the sense that Mbappe's numbers are not too dissimilar from what Rodrigo had, especially in that game at the Emirates, where he did not put in a shift, or that of Vinicius. So my problem with Ancelotti is that at every turn this season when journalists have asked him why the team is not playing well, his response has been that he can fix this team. So when you go through the season and you are not able to take that, because look, what stopped Ancelotti from dropping one of the front three? What stopped Ancelotti from reinstating Bellingham into the central midfield position where he excelled, based on which Madrid made that significant outlay for him? Because look, there is no scenario, there is no tactical scenario where you can accommodate that front four and achieve balance.
Of Rodrigo,
Bellingham, Vinicius and Mbappe. It will not work. We gave Ancelotti the benefits of the doubt, and I say we because I'm included. I'm one of those who genuinely believed he could hack it because he has done it before. And the 2007 team that won the Champions League was of a similar look, except Milan had work ethic as being part of the club culture. So even those who you would identify as superstars, the Kakas and co, who had played in multiple Champions League finals, recognize the need to work together. Ancelotti could not do that. He has not coached this team to play in any recognizable brand of football, and that's a purely technical matter. Before they faced Man City, Ancelotti said that this is where our season begins. We are going to see a sharp departure from all of the things that people had complained about. But that was not the case. And look, in the final analysis, Madrid lost 3 of the opening 8 games, qualified through the back door. This season, there is not a single good team that Madrid have played and have looked at par with them. Even in the game, some of the games that they have won, they have looked significantly inferior to the other teams.
They've had a really poor Champions League
Exactly.
campaign from the group.
Remember
phase up until
the
now.
little
Yeah,
AC
of
Milan,
course. Yes.
Liverpool defeats.
They
Even
lost
in
to
the
Milan
domestic
at home.
Yeah, even in the domestic competitions, the Bilbao matches recently, we saw them against Leganes.
They lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, we saw them against Leganes. We saw them against Valencia. Even the Real Sociedad match that they won. And that's why before the game, I said they were going to be eliminated. In fact, last week I said, if nothing funny happens, in terms of one nearly happened, the VAR and the inordinate amount of time they took in reversing that decision. But generally, Madrid have not looked the part.
Okay.
Ancelotti is going to pay the price for it. But whoever gets the job needs to recognize, look, don't overstate your coaching competence. You cannot... that front four, something has
What
to
has
give.
to happen? They have to sign a striker, drop one of them.
They
or-
have to sign a midfielder.
Okay, and then
Someone who can help control possession. Someone
yeah,
similar
but
to Partey.
that's different from the front four issue. You said the front four. I want to know what you
I'm
think
saying
has
that
to happen
one of them
that
has
front.
to go. One of them has to be relegated to the bench.
That is all I'm saying. I
Yes.
wanted to know.
Yes.
So you're saying that they have to drop one.
or Rodrigo Sharp.
Rodri.
Sharp.
All right. Actually, thank you very much. Listen, my friends, the chaos.
Was too tight even for him, but he was fouled and it's a penalty. And Lacazette makes no mistake. A Quite incredible comeback. Touched by Casemiro. Oh, it's really good play. Amazing. Kobe Mainu. They haven't heard a sound like that here for a long, long time. The kind of drama that usually belongs in fiction has unfolded before our eyes. Certainly one of the most extraordinary. Casemiro in there again. Maguire. Well, I'm sure many of them think they're dreaming. Classic Manchester United.
Last night, eh? He's crazy. Man United, of course, they just had to make it difficult. The other, of course, we'll talk about that briefly, but the other Champions League game between Inter and Bayern Munich ended in another 2-2 draw. Listen, a lot of people were paying attention to the Real Madrid match, but that was a very, very...
Yeah, I was watching that.
Oh, yeah, that was a very, very good game of football, you know. I thought Bayern played really well and probably just about deserved to win. And that's how, in fact, I remember watching the two games on two screens, and then someone casually passing the comment after seeing moments of continuous dominance and pinning of Inter Milan by Bayern. He said, for a team chasing a comeback, this is how you should play. You know, because he was very frustrated with Real Madrid because they were too comfortable. They were not under pressure. But Bayern, they really put Inter under pressure.
I think this was an improvement on the reverse fixture.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
100%. Inter had to work for that result at the San Siro. And for me, I think having survived that, like Sicho said at the beginning, I think Inter are the favorite for me, personally.
No, but I think the second leg between Bayern and Inter didn't need to take any risk. And that's Inter Milan. You know, people watch Barca, people watch Inter through the lenses with which they watch Barca, PSG. These teams will take risk regardless of the result. They don't care. They want to win. They want to score goals. Inter play every game differently, every scenario differently. If Inter leading by 2-0 or a goal to nil, the approach is different from when they need a goal. And that, in fact, that was clear in the game in itself. As soon as Harry Kane scored that opener, Inter's character and behavior changed. And Bayern couldn't cope with them until it became 2-1.
So after 2-1,
they were protecting what they had. And then Bayern got another one. They were like, okay, 2-2 is okay. Let's go to the semis. So
the last kick of the game was nearly a goal.
So Inter allowed Bayern to have the ball. They were just in shape, trying to avoid, conceding chances. But Bayern did very well in trying to create those chances. Harry Kane is super. I thought DiMarco could have got a little close to him. Because when you've got Harry Kane on the ball, you don't want to stand off.
Man, that dire goal, bro.
Yeah. That was some header. But the best for me was the Lautaro goal. It was too quick. It was too. It doesn't make sense. The ball bounced over the guy hit the ball. I don't even know how he saw the ball.
You see, look, every time I look at the Inter squad, I'm like, how did they assemble? Because there is so much depth in the squad.
Every department.
Everywhere.
Divine was on the bench, Bisek was on the bench, Fratesi was on the bench, Zielinski was not available the day, Taremi, Joaquin Correa, Carlos Augusto, Damian.
Crazy.
Bro.
But how do you have a midfield of Mkhitaryan, Chahanoglu,
Barella, Fratesi, Zielinski,
you know what I've
Aslani.
About?
Imagine, then you defense, you have Bastoni, Acerbi.
Aslani, Fratesi, and Aslani, Fratesi, Zielinski. If you put them in my United's midfield, they'll play. Everybody will sit down, they'll play.
Even a right back. Yesterday, Pavard started. But it's not right. First choice right back. The first choice right back is a Dutch boy.
Dumfries.
Dumfries.
And even after Dumfries, there's Damian. And even at centre back, Stefan Divine was on the bench. Bisek was on the bench.
Look at that. Look at that.
Bisek is really, really good.
He's a solid guy.
He's good.
One thing that they deserve credits for is how they assembled this group together. Right? So I would have loved that they sprinkled some stardust on it, especially after they lost to City in the Champions League final. I thought they needed something like that to move to the next level. However, they realized that they've got a coach who can squeeze something out of nothing. And so they find him the right profile of players that he can work with, and then it's worked the treat. And this season, I was just looking at some of the other numbers that people don't pay attention, because the football is wonderful.
Yeah.
But they also are, like Arsenal, taking advantage of every single metric that you want to see. Every scenario is a threat. So for set pieces alone, they've scored 11.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but in Serie A alone, not counting the Champions League. So there is that threat that they have obviously there is a front two. There is a dynamism of the midfield. I was listening to the podcast where Materazzi mentioned that this is the most exciting Inter team he has seen in 60 years.
I don't argue with him. This team is rich everywhere you pass. And hopefully we'll see them against Barcelona. They will be tested in that game. That should be a very, very
They
good
also
game
test
for
Barca.
But I have Barca down.
Yeah, exactly. Agree.
I have Barca down as
Inter
favorite for that one.
I've told Inter will win the Champions League.
No, they are my favorite team.
Yeah, I think.
Unfortunately, sometimes when I back a team, so
You jinx them.
For somebody
I jinx
supporting
them.
Chelsea, yeah, come on.
sorry. Danny K, let me bring you in and let you go because I know you have a busy day. Listen to this.
Lacazette for Fana. Well, that gap was too tight even for him, but he was fouled and it's a penalty. And Lacazette makes no mistake. A quite incredible comeback. Touched by Casemiro. Oh, it's really good play! Amazing! Kobe Mainu! They haven't heard a sound like that here for a long, long time. The kind of drama that usually belongs in fiction has unfolded before our eyes. Certainly one of the most extraordinary. Casemiro in there again. Maguire! Well, I'm sure many of them think they're dreaming. Classic Manchester United.
I certainly thought I was dreaming. DK, listen, last night was a dream, wasn't it? Because I genuinely didn't. In fact, there were some of my tweets that came back to haunt me because I was like, what is this? Throw away Manchester United. Like, what is this? And then they did what they did. Of course, there are still question marks here and there, but, you cannot help but be happy about last night. Should I ask the questions?
What? Why?
You see, I warn you people about that in case network. Some catch them. Okay, DK will try again, eh? Please, when you find stable network, we'll connect back to you. But guys, briefly on that United game from yesterday, Sicho. I mean, that was some game.
For every United fan or every football neutral, you'd have enjoyed that. Maybe for the players, they would enjoy the moment. But now that you've soaked all of that in and have enjoyed it, you now have to start asking Amorim the questions. Amorim. Like, you have to start asking questions about the team because this is done. And this is a very poor Lyon side. Like, this is a very bad Lyon team.
It's a worst Lyon team.
A very, very bad Lyon team,
Asian
right?
team.
So to lead 2-0 against Lyon at home and to concede 2 goals, take it to extra time, go down 4 goals to 2.
Against 10 men.
Against 10 men. Against the quality side in Bilbao that you're coming up against. Are you sure that you are able to give away the goals you gave away in Lyon? And the number of goals you chipped in at Old Trafford. So yeah, great show of character, great show of ability, and some of the goals they scored were great. But against a better team, are you going to have those moments? And that for me is the question. I know United fans are basking in the victory. United fans are happy about the way the team won the game and everything. But ultimately, the question that United fans must ask is if the results from yesterday and the way they played yesterday, they can, in the end, go all the way to win the Europa League, which will give them an automatic slot to go to the Champions League. And that for me is the genuine question, right? So yeah, Fent, for me, that is the matter. But now United fans can be happy. They can chill. I'm trying to say United fan. He's so happy. But now that the dust has settled, now that you've soaked in all the happiness, you have to go back and ask your team the right questions. How on earth did they score 2? Give away 4 goals to a very terrible Lyon side. It's not the best Lyon side we've seen. They struggle in the league, and all of that. And then come back and do your own version of remontada in extra time. So yeah, I think Amorim has to firm up his team because when you're going to play against Bilbao, that's a different proposition. And Bilbao know that the San Mames is hosting the Europa League final this season. They want to be there. They want to lift that trophy in the basque. They want to lift it in front of their fans, and they want to do it back to back. And when United have faced Spanish oppositions, they've normally struggled. But let's see how it goes.
All right.
Maybe this victory is going to kick some soon in the team. So let's see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But as usual, for the third time, let me read a couple of them before I introduce my guest. And then we can start a very special conversation. Cove Town Babe, all the way in the US, says, good evening, good morning, my people. Arsenal fans, we've been sleeping well since last week. Life is good. Of course, life is good. Congratulations to you. This message says, guys, I couldn't believe my ears after the first leg. Being an Arsenal fan, I was like, is this a setup for us to be beating blue-black at the Bernabeu? I was on tenterhooks until the first half was done. Charlie, I couldn't be prouder as an Arsenal fan. Nick in the United States of Abokobi sent us that particular message. This one says, there was no Susum at the Bernabeu on Wednesday. There was no Susum. Sicho has been saying that there's Susum in the Champions League nights at Bernabeu. Ask him, where was the Susum? Madrid were not the best team when they won their last 2 Champions League titles, but they've always got away with it until Wednesday. Wednesday they had they had their payback. All right, hello friends. The last time an English team beat Real Madrid 5-1 over 2 legs, they went on to win the Champions League. That was Man City 2 years ago. Arsenal will repeat the same thing. Liverpool can keep the Premier League title. We don't want it anymore. Stanley in Ashimosa. Arsenal fans. This one said there was some things United did in the past that made us fall in perpetual love with the club. Yesterday was a typical example. Drama. Yeah, Chris says hashtag glory Man United. This one said, good afternoon, guys. Happy Easter to you guys. And then you say you're making another great discussion, but not touching on the occultism in football. Okay, Real Madrid thought even though they're not playing well, they thought something else would help them, but they had forgotten that they cannot do that to all teams. Ajman, just having community nights, Emma.
And Real Madrid.
Yes. Arsenal Susu, Real Madrid quitting.
A big pass, Real Madrid.
Yeah. Listen, guys, we've been joined in the studio by 2 very special guests. One of them you're very familiar with. Baby Jet Asamoah makes a return to the show.
Baby
is a Man U fan. He was dancing here last night. Baby Jet. Did you see the game last night?
Honestly, I didn't watch the game, but
you saw the
results justify the means.
Charlie, it's good to see you. How have you been?
I've been good. You?
Yeah, I've been okay. Baby Jet, I have questions for you.
But let's focus.
I know. Hold on.
Let's focus on.
I know.
That's why we are here.
By saying I have questions for you, I'm not going to ask. If I were going to ask, I would not say I have questions for you. I'll just go ahead and ask.
Okay.
You understand? But I have questions for you,
I also have questions for you.
I beg you, don't turn the tables.
Okay.
We've also been joined by a very beautiful woman, a very hardworking, a very industrious, and more importantly, a powerful woman from CAF. Sarah Mukuna is joining us. Sarah, how you doing?
Great. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
For having CAF here.
Yeah, brilliant.
Because I represent CAF.
I
represent the Confederation of African Football.
Yes.
Thank you.
You have no idea. You have no idea how privileged we are to have you. And something special is brought to you to Ghana, of course. And something special is brought Baby Jet here as well. The CAF schools football competition is happening here in Accra. The first time in West Africa on the 21st to the 26th of April.
23rd, actually.
23rd?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 23rd. It's 23rd.
Okay. Let me know when deal with people.
It is 23rd. I have information from CAF that is 20.
I was going to ask you. You are thinking over
information from CAF. Is this not CAF? Are you CAF? That was told me.
All right, Sarah, forget about these boys.
No worries.
Forget about them.
Welcome to the show.
I will solve it. I will solve that.
Forget about them. Can you imagine?
You were saying you have information.
From CAF, yes.
Henry, hold on. Henry Asantuchum.
People love this.
You see, Henry, I haven't even introduced you.
I don't want to be
Start
introduced.
arguing with somebody.
I don't want to be
Tell
introduced.
yourself like family members, so you just enter.
This is my home.
Welcome, bro.
Sarah, listen. Tell us a bit more about this. This is a competition that's for schools. I was asking her a very critical question that I'll ask him. He didn't answer that question when I asked him.
Oh, I have.
I didn't see.
Check your phone.
Okay, cool. But Sarah, tell us more about the African schools football competition. What
Yes.
is it? Why should we care about it?
Yes, so the CAF African Schools Football Championship, the very first of its kind, is a brainchild of the CAF president, Dr. Patrice Motsepe. It's a concept that he put in place when he took office in 2021, and he launched that school championship in 2022 in Mozambique, with really the aim to uplift schools football for our schools boys and girls on the continent.
Okay. In what age category? Just before
So
you go
we
on.
are talking about U15. So
under 15. All right.
anything between 14 and 15.
Okay, sure.
And really with this vision to find, with this vision to give every boy and girl an opportunity in football, and to prove that back in the days, the mantra that you have to play on the streets to be identified as a player from the morning to the evening, to be identified by a scout, to really challenge this and to say, no, if you are in school, now there's a platform in school that your talent can be detected and you can make a career being in school within the context of football. So that is
That's amazing.
what the aim or the bigger pictures of the CAF African Schools Football Championship. But quickly and briefly, I would say the school championship is the biggest schools competition on the continent, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, even the only one where we bring schools on a continental level together. So yeah.
Interesting. And Asamoah and Abedipele are the ambassadors for this competition that's happening here in Ghana. Baby Jet, I think it was only right that you were chosen because you are a product of the school sports, the school football competition. Tell me about your own excitement about this event happening. It's the first time it's happening anywhere in West Africa.
I think this is the third edition, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, this is a third edition.
I was part of the second edition in South Africa.
The first
The first edition.
You are the
Yes.
inaugural
Yes.
ambassador.
I started out of the foundation. I would say that. So
Moko.
talking about my personal experience, I think this is my field, and I'm very, very happy to be part of this project because, as I always say, during school, everybody know me as a school person. Like when I was playing for the Accra Academy, and when we were young, we had opportunity to go to this PE. You go out for 20 minutes, 30 minutes PE, and then you go out.
Yeah.
But this is huge for Africa, not for only Ghana. It's huge for Africa, and honestly, I also believe in grass football, grassroots football. That is where I started. That is where the foundation of talking about football and
Every sport.
And what CAF is doing is not only about football. We have the referees and a lot of things involved, So it's like building the foundation of every aspect of the game, which is an amazing concept. So first of all, I would like to say kudos to Mr. Patrice Motsepe, the CAF president. This is a good initiative for we Africans, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Yeah, and we are happy that you're part of it. And listen, I'll come back to you, Baby J. But sorry, just tell me a bit more about. We have 8 teams that are competing in this. The 8 boys teams and 8 girls teams.
Very important.
So yeah,
the only competition where boys and girls play at the same time,
wow.
and where boys and girls have the same opportunity in winning the prize money. We will talk about the prize money.
Yeah, we'll talk about the prize money.
But it's a very important aspect that we have that. Mm-hmm.
And this is a school. So the question I had for you, this is a school's competition. It's for school children, right? And you've got 8 countries out of the 51 or 52 or 53 from how many countries are in Africa?
54,
54.
according to CAF.
According to CAF. Charlie, we'll add another one. When Togoland get their independence. Oh God. Anyway, so sir, how did you arrive at the 8 boys schools and the 8 girls schools from the countries that are participating? How do you arrive at that?
Yeah, very good question. So it's actually a journey. So where we are now, where we are going to be on the 23rd, is actually the peak of that journey.
Okay.
So we started. The school championship has 3 phases. So we started with the first phase, which we call the national phase, where schools are competing amongst themselves by country. So in Ghana, you would have had a school competition just with all the schools in Ghana. Then we have the second phase, which is the zonal phase, whereby we ask the member association, so in this case GFA, to put a squad together of the best school boys and school girls that they have identified doing the national phase. And they will then represent Ghana at the regional level.
And the regional level being WAFU in this case.
Exactly.
So Zone B or Zone A.
Exactly. And that team go ahead.
At that level?
Yeah, at that level. So that team that wins that competition goes then and competes at the continental final.
It's a long journey.
It is a long journey.
And this is the same for both the girls and the boys.
For boys. And we started, so the competition usually starts around, like September, August, September, and then it goes throughout. So similar to the schools here.
Yeah. You know, that's interesting because the first 2 editions were not there.
Yeah, right.
And ever since CAF introduced this zonal qualifying, we know they go so we know they feel qualify. So that's it. See, that's why I said I was very interested in the journey.
In
the journey there. Every time they do something, there's zonal, wafu, something. By the time we reach CAF, then
the journey is long. No, but it's a good thing from CAF and of course the legends who are all back in this, because you know Africa, there's a perception that we can run away from, that sportsmen and women are not necessarily serious school students, right? So once CAF now is bringing the sports into the school, it makes parents feel at ease to allow their kids to pay attention to the sports and develop their talent. Because I know plenty people who were talented, but their parents kind of wanted them to focus on school because of the risk of maybe not making it in football. But now if the association itself or the federation itself is bringing the sports into schools, then our parents are more comfortable. That becomes almost like part of the curriculum. So that is properly regulated, guided, and it's lovely. Congratulations.
Exactly. And that feeds into the question I was going to ask Baby Jet and say that, you know, when he was growing up, they didn't have this kind of competition at the CAF level, at the African level. We only had it in Ghana. So what impact do you think, how will this change the landscape of grassroots football development?
I think it's gonna boost even the parents to even encourage their kids to do more, because as Sifiso said, listen, our time, people thought maybe football players are illiterate, you know, they have nothing to offer, and now this is something the Confederation of African Football is backing, you know, so they feel safe, even the parents feel safe. Absolutely. You know, they'll even feel proud to see their kids participating in this tournament, which is a very, very good thing. Our time, we didn't get that opportunity. So that is why I always thank you.
We call them
what they have
boys.
done. Yeah, we were the Kobolo boys. You know, we didn't get the backing, but now it's something serious. Now people, it's about time people will take the sports very, very serious. You know, from the parental guidance. Now I'm even sure now people even after childbirth they just say, hey, you are going to
play football. you play.
Baby, christening.
Yes,
they use jersey now. You see how they used to wrap the child around in the cloth. Give me blaster jersey.
I remember our time. I remember our time. We were playing, and then one parent came. Our best player at that time, he came and take him out
of the game.
He
should go and study.
Go and study.
Wow.
And that guy was the best player at that time.
Can you imagine? Yeah.
Today he's a pastor. You know, and fine.
It's not funny, but
he was.
we all want to go to heaven, so we can't laugh.
And I'm emphasizing on it because I also urge the parents to support these kids. You know, to make sure what CAF is doing, they can back it. Not only in Ghana, the whole of Africa. We have to support this thing. Yesterday, I was talking about the attendance in the stadium. You understand? I'm just suggesting every school should have a holiday when Ghana is playing, because this is like an school champions African Cup.
That's a brilliant idea. It would motivate a lot of them. So all the schools around, it could even be an excursion.
Yeah, because this is an African Cup thing, like a school African Cup thing. You understand?
These are 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds.
Yes. So that is my suggestion.
I think it's a good one. It's a good one. Sorry, you're going to say something.
No, I think this is brilliant. But I also want to encourage those that might not see themselves as the next Asamoah Gyan, but who love football, right? And that's a beautiful thing about this championship. We have, and you have mentioned it, also other capacity building programs around the program. So what we do is we do workshops for young referees. So all the match officials are youngsters. So we're going to give them the opportunity to show their talent. Because maybe we are born a natural leader. You might not have talent, but you're a leader. So why not become a referee? And the beautiful thing is we are not just going to give you the platform for a week. We put you in our football family, and you will be used for under 17 AFCON, you know, for the VAFU, the zone. So we will be in the family. Young reporter, you might be a good writer. You like telling
You're training young reporters too?
Yes.
Wow.
We have a partnership with one of the biggest international broadcasting company. I'm not going to mention who it is. You will see, discover. And through that program, they will go through trainings. We will select the best 2 boys and girls. And we will do it only with locals, by the way, only with Ghanaians.
What's the age category for the young reporters?
I think it's anything between 15 to 25.
Okay.
Why was you just go and bring your son?
Brother.
Your son is just like under 4 years.
I have interns here that I would like to sign up. I mean, it's a great
exactly.
idea.
Encourage them because the best one will then be invited to then undergo an internship with that broadcasting company, and then to be invited to Morocco to cover the AFCON that will take place December, January. So it's great. It's a great opportunity. We give. We also have a program for coaches. Because yes, you might be a PE teacher, but we will not. Maybe you don't know how to teach football in schools. So we have this program. We want to bring football to schools, but we don't have anybody that can teach football. So what we are making sure is that we leave a legacy in Ghana. So all the PE teachers will be leaving the workshop with a D license, level D license, coaching license.
I mean, this is amazing. Actually, this is amazing. And you know why I'm very, because you see, often we would have all these ideas, and then so I'm glad that you guys are here, because before we leave here we will tell people how is it too late for anyone to join any of those programs? I know for the football you already selected the players, the teams. What about the training programs? Is that also already filled up?
So I have to be quite honest.
Yes, please.
So the date that you see here, the 21st, that's where the confusion comes in. So the workshops actually start on the 21st, and that's already yesterday, actually.
Filled up.
Yes. But the matches itself start on the 23rd until the 26th.
That's why Joe arguing plenty.
I said I got
so
it from
nobody was wrong in the room.
We were both right.
I got it. Yeah, we were both right.
We were both right.
That's right. We were right.
Wait, Sarah, say his first name again. The man in the middle.
Asamoah.
And let him tell you where he comes from.
Where
the town he comes from.
Sarah wouldn't have a problem because Sarah's mind is clean.
Where do you come
Sarah, I'm from Tumu. Baby Jet, what are you thinking?
I feel like I should not say anything.
Please don't.
John is used to having his name, mentioning depending on where he comes from.
Yes.
I told you the last time I was in Russia, right? I was going to look at the stadium where Ronaldo scored the goal against Chelsea when Man United won it, where they played the World Cup final. Yeah. So this guy was taking us around. It's like Ghana. So yes, Ghana. Oh, Gwen. It's like
who is that?
Who is that? Like, Gwen. I'm saying no, I'm from Ghana. So when I was saying the Gwen, I was thought he was trying to mention Ghana, and he was saying
the country.
And he did the dance. Gwen. I said, I support Chelsea. Yeah. He said Gwen. He said I support Chelsea. Yeah. I support Chelsea. He did the dance. But Ghana wasn't even in the Russia World Cup. But he knows Jan.
The thing is the letter S, the S.
Yeah.
You know, they mention it as like the Z.
It has a Z, yeah.
Like the Z.
Yeah.
So
Especially the
instead
South
of the
Africans.
Samoa, they say it as Samoa.
Yeah. That's why even a lot of the South Africa websites end with ZE. Why is it ZE and not SE?
Even when I was in Italy, they called me Asamoah.
Asamoah.
And normally they call me Asa.
Yes.
Instead of the Asa. You know, they say the Asa.
okay.
So I was like,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So
Someone-
All right.
yeah.
On that note, Azamati, let's talk. Sorry, Azza.
you okay.
But let's talk about the other. Sarah mentioned it, but I want you to emphasize on some of it. They're also training on security issues,
Yes,
right?
it's happening as
That's
we
very
speak.
important, and it's happening where?
In at the University of Ghana.
Okay, so baby Jet, this is important, right? Especially in the last months that we've had stadium security issues. You know,
Yeah.
critical issue.
Critical. And people invading on the pitch and stuff.
Yeah.
And you know the FA get fined for no reason. You know, all these things, people don't see it. You know, they go on the field to show love, but sometimes you also causing problems. You know, not about those people, but security is very, very important.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about sports, there are a lot of people trying to come to the stadium. You might never know any bad guy, anything, but security when it comes to these things is very, very, very important. And this is what CAF is doing. And honestly, I'm 1000% part of this thing.
You are.
I'm so happy to be part.
When are the games? Let's go through the dates then, because specific, so people can put that into their journals. The actual seminar and the whole thing starts.
23rd.
Okay, good.
No,
the
the
football matches
seminar-
start 23rd.
Football.
Yeah, the football
But
starts.
everything
23rd.
starts on the 21st.
Exactly.
The clinic.
On the
Yeah.
21st. What are the so Henry? Do you have the schedule? The fixture list, Sarah. You have the fixture
so
list
the draw, that's one of the big events as well. It's on the 21st
on the 21st.
That's the draw.
The draw
at 2 p.m.
that will come with the fixtures.
We'll all be there.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Where am I supposed to say it?
You're supposed to say
Multi-choice head office.
multi-choice side
And
office.
some no
Okay, that's okay. No, they're sponsors of this show, so no vex. It's okay.
Is it on TV? Are
we-
the games on TV?
Yeah.
Where can we catch the games? I mean, listeners.
The games are on Super Sport. If Joy Prime wants to show you, they
We can show it too. We can show.
So if I want to show it with my phone on YouTube,
Hey. Careful.
I said everybody can.
But you can actually see all the matches,
matches.
on YouTube, CAF
Okay.
TV.
For free.
All of them for free.
And I must say,
100%.
credit to CAF, you are doing some incredible work on the media side these days.
Yeah.
I love the.
So everybody should subscribe. That's it.
Subscribe to the pages because
Yeah.
they do some amazing
CAF
stuff.
is doing an amazing stuff.
A
you
lot.
know.
So credit
I
to you.
urge everybody to just subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
subscribe
know the
to it.
reason that Sarah said she was asking if she's allowed to say it because CAF had explored also using Sports Zone studio for draw. They didn't.
Did you bounce them?
I didn't bounce there.
Yeah.
Our studio is not big enough, you see. So we are going for more money. There will be a bigger studio. Next time they host the competition, we'll have the draw here.
Exactly.
That's
That is what is
Sounds
going
like
to
a
happen.
plan.
Oh yeah, it is. I don't see it as a negative. I see it as inspiration.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Talking about inspiration, Sarah, this is more than just identifying talent and having young players in the system. There's also a huge financial compensation involved. I've seen the figures. Lots of money that CAF is putting into this.
It is, I think, the biggest compensation in terms of prize money for youth competition.
I agree.
And that speaks right to the vision of the CAF president, who genuinely believes in youth football and uplifting the schoolboys and girls on our continent. Himself, through the Motsepe Foundation, he has donated $10 million to the championship, which will be used as prize money. And it's not
For how many editions?
That's not money giving to the player. It's not cash. There's no cash given to the players, but it will be used for a development project of that winning team.
So if we win the competition, which we are going to, we get $300,000.
Yes.
And that money would go into directly into school football development.
Exactly. So that will be. It can start from just building a pitch in a community to renovating schools' classrooms,
Yes.
building a pitch in a school. Right? Exactly.
So no parent to come and say,
CAF will monitor everything.
Yes,
exactly.
absolutely.
So the money is not for the kids to go and chop or give to parents. It's for investment into their own future.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. And the figures are here. Let me just go through some. But you see, you know why I know that everybody is a winner here? Because there are 8 teams. And the top 4 all get prize money. So that's literally
Wow.
yeah. The top 4 all get prize money. So the winner gets $300,000.
The top 6.
Top 6.
Yeah, boys and girls. 3.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
There you go. So runners up 200K. Second runners up, which is third place, right? 150K. Then the total prize money being invested into this is 650. So 3 here, 3 there. Top 6, like you said. So first, second, third for boys. First, second, third for girls. All of them will get prize money. That is
I just have
amazing.
to add this. You know, I mentioned to you, like, we have these 3 phases.
Yeah.
National phase, zonal phase, continental phase. We also have prize money at the zonal phase. So everybody that will be coming to the continental finals are already winners. Because
Right.
they received prize money at the zonal level.
Oh. So what about the host nation that we didn't play in the zonal competition that we are hosting? Do you give us prize money?
We might discuss
Hey,
this
Chicho,
later.
it's a legit question. But we are hosting, so we didn't play.
Host money.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
to,
we
to,
do host money.
they give us money to add
No.
to add into the 35 million for Lagos Stadium. So
Yeah,
Lagos
so
Stadium
that's
right now it
yeah,
costs
yeah.
like 50 billion.
Yeah.
Hey Henry, I have a question for you. How did we come up with our team to participate in this competition? The Ghana girls and boys team that will be playing. How did we because we didn't play the qualifiers, so fair enough. So how did we come up with our team?
We've been doing this. We've been doing this for the past 3 years. The sad thing is that the first edition Ghana couldn't participate because
Before you continue, we played the qualified.
Yeah,
didn't
you
we?
did. And then you.
we played in the
girls.
Wafu competition last year.
Yeah.
Last
The
year.
girls were first, the boys were third.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you
In-
gotta
in Togo.
applaud
So
your
we
own
qualified.
people.
No, hold on,
I
no.
was
The girls
confused.
qualified. The boys
did
did
not.
not.
Yes. So
But the
Okay.
boys
Only
got
the-
third
the boys-
place,
the
which
boys
is
were
also
third.
fantastic. They
the
got
boys
their
lost.
prize money.
The boys lost the semi-final to Nigeria, to Cote d'Ivoire, and then in the third place playoff we beat Nigeria, and then we were third.
Okay.
And the girls won their competition.
Yeah.
You know, so that's
So-
on the back of those achievements, we just coming into this year's competition with that accolade. With those performances in Togo.
Yeah.
But back to your question, this journey.
Thanks to Mustafa Yusuf and his people, our boys will play in the competition.
How?
They gave us a stadium, and the stadium is
But let me mention that. The initial proposal from the FA was to host the tournament in Pram Pram. You know, it also helps. It also helps the
invest into the facility,
the development and investment of the facility in Pram Pram.
True.
So there were 2 proposals. One, the Legon Stadium. The second, the Pram Pram. Excellent facility. CAF came. We went there for inspection. We wanted to play the prelims in Pram Pram and then the final at the Legon Stadium.
Okay.
So on the back of the visits and the inspection in Pram Pram and Legon, CAF decided that we should host the entire competition in Accra because they think that doing it in Accra saves
more
cost,
access.
time, access,
Yeah.
a lot of advantages. For which reason we consented to that, and the tournament will come off at the University of Ghana Stadium. So far, a lot has been happening, which is why we closed down the venue for domestic competition. The pitch is being worked on, the media area, the VVIP, the presidential box, the security arrangements, the press tribune, and then also we'll have seminars and workshops, which Sarah has already mentioned. And so there is a lot going on. I spent about 3 hours at the stadium yesterday. We are putting a lot in place to ensure that the stadium is ready to host the tournament. It is looking like an AFCON tournament already, because the standards are the same. CAF is not looking at maybe a U15 schools competition, so they will lower the standard. No. CAF is CAF. Everything CAF is the same,
Exactly. But
and
Henry, I don't want to interrupt you, but since we're interrupting each other, but that is the vision. These under 15 boys and girls are the future. And I promise that there will be a player tomorrow that we will see in 5 years, 6 years at the World Cup.
Agreed.
So now we are playing World Cup under 17 every year, boys and girls. There will be some players who will be part of the squad, of the GFA squad, for the under 17 World Cup to be played for the boys in Qatar or for the girls in Morocco. So we want to give them the feeling already without spoiling them.
Yeah, and we're going to fill the stadium because that's the encouragement and the word out there, Baby Jet. That's the plea Baby Jet is putting out there, especially to schools. If you have your headmaster of a school, we spoke about this the last time we did the Kintako coverage, that if you're headmaster of the school, you have to take active interest in the sporting development of your school children. So there is a way to motivate the kids to grow their interest in the sport. Organize a school bus, take them there under clear supervision. Let them go there, watch their age mates, have a competition. They go back home, you never know. It could trigger something. They would also learn how to conduct themselves at stadiums and stop jumping onto the onto the pitches and stuff like that, which we have had to deal with in the last few years. So it's all a training and a development agenda that has to be pursued by headmasters of various schools, especially junior high schools, JSS, secondary schools, primary schools, and the kickoff times are friendly, right?
Yeah, very friendly.
So there's
it starts from the afternoon through to the night.
There you go. So you could go in there.
Not just start in the morning.
Morning, afternoon.
There you go.
A bit of break in the afternoon, and then late afternoon we continue.
I think we need to do that. So Baby Jet, last words on this CAF schools thing, because I think genuinely that there is a phenomenal idea. It also, one thing that you guys haven't mentioned, but I think that it also helps curtail the issue of even age cheating, because you get these kids at this moment, they are already in the system. You understand? So one day they can't come and tell you that my name is Asamoah and they'll change the Z to S and the S to Z and change it. No, there is video evidence broadcast on TV of you playing. So you can't come and fake your name and all that. But anything else that you want to add to the competition? It's starting on 23rd. The football competition is starting on 23rd.
Now everything is set and done. We just doing the finishing touches. We're just doing promotion. I always want attendance. I want everybody to get involved in this program, because my field, for example, when I'm playing and I don't see people around, I get bored. I don't like it. I just like support from everywhere to make sure this project works for we Africa. It has to be something that when CAF school championship is here, this is like AFCON. This is for the schools. Now it's a foundation that we want to build, and CAF is doing an amazing job. So I want everybody to just support it.
Okay.
Because I'm also supporting it 100%, 200%.
Of course. Because you'll be there all the days. Right?
Grassroots football is the future.
It is.
It's the future. So the foundation is key. So that is what I want to urge everybody. Just let's support it, and then as you said, the headmasters of the school, we just suggest. I don't know whether CAF is going to write letters to them or anything.
They should be willing to do this. It's an open invitation.
It can be done through the local
federation. That is an administrative work, but I want everybody to get involved. That is what I urge everybody.
Okay, Sarah. listen, before I let you guys go, I was gonna ask John many questions. He said, "Charlie." So, but Julia said, if I ask you any question outside of me, she will shoot me.
Yeah.
I don't know if she has a gun, but in this place we don't have guns here. Sarah, the previous 2 editions, any peculiar success stories there that stand out that you and what your own expectations are about this one?
Yes. Can I tell you 2 stories, success
Absolutely.
stories? My absolutely favorite stories. So the first one, that was first edition, 2022.
Yeah.
We had a girl. She was a top scorer at the zonal level. She was the best player at the zonal level.
Wow.
She was at the time, I think, 15, obviously. 2022. There was a club that recognized her. They said, like, okay, she's good, she's okay. Why don't she join us? Okay. Was not sure. They were not sure. She didn't join them. She goes, remember, there's a delay. You play zonal phase, you come back for the continental final. Again, top scorer, best player. You
Wow.
you can read about her. She's from Tanzania. She's so great. You know, she gets a trophy handed out by the CAF president, obviously media, all of this. The club says, we might give
Now
her a
that's
call.
serious. Yeah.
She joins. She gets a club, right? I think like junior club. Obviously, she joins the club, plays. Her life changes, minimal, but her life changes. Then the national team.
Wow.
Yes, she joins the obviously junior categories, right?
Of course.
She joins the national team, but because she was still that young, she came in the last few minutes, scores. They win. So this is not. I'm not inventing that story. I get you her name, and you can Google it.
Right.
And today she's like 2 years later. Obviously, she is with the female national team,
The senior team.
senior team, but in the junior, like she
Of
gets
course.
how you say exemption from our from the doctors because you
Right.
can join
Right.
when you're younger.
Yeah.
There are some bureaucracy. So I just want to tell you that there's a girl who came from a school system nobody knew
Yeah.
she had talent.
Yeah.
And now she's not.
And now her life just changed.
Yeah.
She has
So-
a club.
Like me.
She's part of the national team.
That's unbelievable.
So
That's
this is a
unbelievable.
beautiful.
Dreams do come true.
Exactly. I think I'll leave it there. The
Yeah.
other
Wow.
story next time when you
That's a
invite
female
me.
jam.
Wow.
Friends, that's a female jam. That's just
Harry,
A bit,
I think
just
that's-
to add a bit.
very, very.
Great story.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, we are celebrating Asamoah. Great. Abedi Ayupele is one of the ambassadors as well. But I just
Is he the
want,
one coming on my show on Monday?
I just want to show. Which show? The one we spoke about.
Yes.
Okay.
See,
let's-
Harry is growing old. He's forgetful.
if my son is your age, you know, which you are.
That is if.
What else?
Harry, let me
Yeah, so I just want to-
just
I
answer
just
this
want to-
question for me. The you know, this is CAF schools football competition. Is it a school that is selected that participates in this, or is just the team is put together from different schools?
The team is put together from different schools,
Okay.
both boys and girls,
Okay.
through the help of the Ghana Education Service.
Okay.
You know,
Oh, love that.
we set up a committee.
Yeah, exactly.
collaboration,
So this is basically the best players
schools.
from the school system
In collaboration
in
with
that
Ghana
age.
Education Service. That's
Yes,
what I
in
love.
that age category. Exactly.
love that.
Mr. Into Aye, who works for the GES, is a member of the committee responsible for this
Ah,
championship.
Okay.
You know, and he comes from the Ghana Education Service
Yes.
angle.
Okay.
You know,
so this is
Oh,
not
GFA.
GFA selected.
Oh, JF
players.
is more than JF.
Yeah, just you know, when Sarah
people.
mentioned the issue of the referees and
Yeah.
training them, in my head I was thinking game changers.
Game changers. Catch them
because
young.
they started that whole thing,
Catch them
right?
young.
but
Yes,
we have one. We
I have
have
to add
Akuru-
this. We were inspired by Catch Them Young.
Oh, continue.
Program.
Oh, continue. Oh, continue.
I have to say it.
Listen,
I have to
listen,
say
and
Continue.
I would like to commend Kurt
Yes,
Okreku
that's why I
for
wanted
what he
to
has
get-
done. You know, I was saying yesterday that listen, he got to office when Ghana football was down.
Yeah.
You know, the expectation was high. He was able to build everything within 4 years, and now look at what the results we're getting now. So I think he has done an incredible job.
Yeah.
Talking about grassroots football, he's also into catch them young.
Yeah.
This
No, that project, I think it's a
Yes.
brilliant
And-
idea.
I
And
think,
one of our
Sarah
referees, one
wants
of the
to-
products of that catch them young will officiate in this tournament.
Yes, and
Amazing.
The young man who officiated the MTNF
Yeah.
Cup semifinal.
Oh, okay.
Akurugu from
Akurugu, yes.
Navongo Senior High.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
he's selected.
yeah. So I think everything is about patience, and the GFE have done an incredible job. You know, for all this while we forgot Ghana football was down. You know, there was real building, players coming in here and there, people joining, and now it looks like everything
It's
is
taking shape.
is
Yeah.
taking shape now.
And one
You know,
of
so-
one of the sliding tackle moves was getting you to the Blasters. Charlie, the speech you gave and Charlie.
Is it Thomas? Joe? No. I want to see.
If I don't put out that video, like you will talk about that.
You know we're talking. I use you. Maybe thank you.
Yeah, what CAF is doing
Thank
is
you.
it's an incredible
Yeah,
thing,
man.
and
Yeah,
we
man.
are happy to be part of
This one.
everything.
Thank you, Baby J. Sarah, it's been an absolute pleasure having you. We will be there to support, and
Yeah.
we will use our shows to
Am
support.
I
as
seeing
well.
you on Monday?
Yes.
At the draw?
You are seeing me on Monday at the draw. Juliet invited me.
Okay.
I'm
Charlie,
very.
but you don't go invite me, son.
No,
You are invited. You are invited. You are invited.
Julius, what they rate me or what? What she dey?
The doors are open. The doors are open.
You are invited. You are invited. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you,
you.
Baby Jed Asamoah. Sicho Achitamaklo was here earlier as well. Daniel Cranston also joined us on Zoom. We're all going to, once again, Spain Tex to the Marina Mall opening. That's where Joy FM is broadcasting for the next 4 days. Today, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, from 3 p.m. all the way to 6 p.m. You can get amazing discounts at the mall opening with that Joy FM broadcast. It's a bazaar at the mall, party at the mall. Make sure to tune in. This has been another episode of Game Plan on 99.7 Joy FM. Hits 103.9 FM. My name is Fentu. Tahir Fentu. Our sponsors are Betway and, of course, Petro Soul. We're back again next Friday with another episode. Until then, do take care of yourself and